Okay, so PO Lazarus, thank you for spending your Friday morning with Montreal Rocks.
Hello.
You want to introduce yourselves?
This is my good friend Joshua Carey.
And this is Mr. Paul
Livestream.
Mascarenhas down below. Are you below? I don't. Yeah.
I'm above and you're below,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
guess it's different for everyone.
on my screen, Paul is below, but let's there's no hierarchy going on here, I don't think.
Perfect. Let's do it.
So new music from PO Lazarus today. How
Yes,
does
sir.
Indeed.
how does it feel to be giving birth to new music after this this time that we've been in?
Paulie, what do you think?
I mean, it feels great. Like, obviously, the year of pandemic is very frustrating at times, but we've stayed positive as much as possible, and feels good to put something out into the world, even though we can't necessarily play it in front of people as we usually would do. So, it's different, but we're happy to just keep putting out new stuff. So it always feels good.
So this music that's come out today, when was it formulated? Was it formulated during lockdown?
So no, it wasn't. There's 3 songs that came out on our EP. It's called Despair 2. And I suppose the song Despair 2 is the newest of the 3, but it still happened before lockdown. So even though some of the content may be a bit on the nose for the pandemic, they were songs written maybe 2 years ago, I'd say. And the last song, Ways to End the Night, was written maybe 6 or 7 years ago. So it just took a while to get to that one.
So that was going to be my next question. Even though it was written before the pandemic, it feels quite fitting. Some of the lyrical content feels quite fitting to where the world has been in recent times. But that seems to be a theme with a lot of bands. They seem to be writing music that came from before what's, COVID-19 struck. But then the lyrical content seems to be really relevant to what's going on today. Have you found that with things that you've been writing?
Yeah, I would say, being in a rock and roll band in like these last few years, and like just one that's on a small scale at the moment, it feels like you live in a pandemic all the time almost. We were dealing with some of these ideas of isolation and alienation way before we had to be enclosed in our apartments, So yeah, I have noticed that. I've noticed it with other bands as well. I don't know, just sort of some sort of impending doom at all times. We were feeling that before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Small time rock groups fighting for your life constantly,
So was this music meant to come out earlier? Did you delay it because of the situation, or was the timeline like cast in stone?
So actually these songs were recorded at the same time as 10 other songs that comprise an LP, which we intended on putting out first. We thought we would put it out last summer. Then obviously the pandemic struck, so we sort of put that on hold, and we didn't quite know what to do with those other 3 songs, which ended up being this EP. So we figured we might as well put out something, and that's what we did.
Yeah, we definitely had to think on the fly, and Paul had a lot to do with scheduling it and planning it out, but we didn't think these 3 tunes of all these songs we had recorded would be the first at all to be seen the light of day, but we devised this plan, and then we decided that it would be a good idea we had to release something. It's been freaking years since we've shown anybody a new song other than in the live format. So yeah, we just decided to release the songs that didn't make it to the album, and they sound together. I think they sound just as good. So
what was the thought process about which songs would come on the EP and which songs would remain on the album?
So we went through many different sort of combinations of the songs, and for the LP, we've always had the intention of putting it on vinyl. So you're sort of constricted to a certain spin time. For example, the song Ways to End the Night, I think, is maybe one of our finest pieces of work. And it's an older song also that we're very proud of, but it happens to be almost 7.5 minutes. So it didn't quite make sense for us to throw it on the LP, which would then have to, remove some other songs that we felt maybe fit better. So it was not because these songs were any less good or anything like that. It was more so just coincidence and personal choices of what we wanted for sure to be on the LP.
And the songs that are on the EP, are they representative of the sound for the album as well? Are you guys kind of moving in a different direction to what you've done before?
I mean, I think each song is very different from the last on this EP, and I think it gives you an indication at certain sounds, definitely, because it was all during the same session. We went to a famed studio called the Bathhouse Studios, which belongs to the Tragically Hip.
Yeah.
So we went and we stayed there for 2 sessions, like 2 weeks. You live there, and it was just a great experience. So it definitely has some sounds that you'll hear on the LP for sure. But these 3 in particular are quite different from, like, Despair 2 doesn't sound like Violent Times, and it doesn't sound like Ways to End the Night. So, but it's still us. So that's pretty cool.
And what's going on with the video? Like, it's pretty creepy video.
For Violent Times?
Yeah. I saw that and I was like, whoa, like, that's not what I was expecting necessarily from you guys. Obviously, the title Violent Times kind of lends itself to a certain theme maybe, but it's very visual and very cinematic, I would say. Is that deliberate?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we wanted just to have a standalone video that looked like just a piece of art, so, and we had to do it. This was made during the pandemic, so we had to be careful, and it was just a small skeleton crew, Paul and I and one other man named Giordano Aguzzi, who's been actually collaborating with a lot of videos that you're going to see in the future and some that you're about to see. Like we did a session at a bar called Grumpy's that we love, and he and Giordano recorded those. So a few more videos from that session will come out. But yeah, the Violent Times videos, we love slasher horror movies, and in the end, it's not really a horror film, but we wanted some of those elements to be there. I think we pulled it off.
Yeah, I definitely think you pulled it off. So in the last 12 months, you say these songs were recorded before that. What have you been doing as a band in the last 12 months?
Well, that's been fairly complicated. Obviously, with all of the COVID restrictions, it's very hard to get together just to rehearse and work on new material, which in normal times, Josh and I will sit and play music with each other at least twice a week. And when we were able to do that consistently, we had a whole slew of new songs that were turning out to be very promising. And that unfortunately sort of took the back burner a little bit because we got evicted from our jam space because they're making condos out of the building.
Of course.
And at times it's been literally illegal for us to see each other. So it's not the ideal situation for at least polishing songs that are in the works.
Yeah.
We can work on stuff on our own.
Do you normally write songs together in a room, or you come with bits and pieces of songs together and mash them together once you
Well, some of the best ones we love, it has just been like, okay, all right, Paul, just start playing, and then I'm just going to start doing something right off the bat. And like those types of songs can sometimes happen where it's like it takes off right away. And otherwise, we've been forced to be kind of writing alone. So every now and then when we can get a rehearsal going, we can show each other some stuff, but it's just not doing it every week really has taken a toll. Although there's just a back catalog of so many songs that we're excited about. So we got to get back at it.
So you've managed to stay creative, even though you've been like forced apart for a while.
I would say so. Yeah. There's many new songs in the works. So.
And do you feel that being separate and trying to stay creative in separate places has changed the way you write songs, the kind of songs that you think are going to come out from that?
I mean, we're never trying to write the same type of song, and we're just trying to go with our instincts. So obviously this EP is evidence that we're not going to stick to one thing that's working and just like milk that until it's dead. We're going to do what we want to do. So, I mean, maybe it's changed in some ways, but just in the fact that we're not connecting, and like I'm writing a song and I'm like, what usually happens now? oh, right, there's 5 other humans who usually chime in or have an idea. And I was like, okay, I'm not getting worse. It's just, I'm not with my band.
Yeah, you don't have that feedback to kind of bounce back and forth.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I guess you're excited for that to be
Of course.
a normality again.
Oh,
For sure.
certainly.
So
During the summer, there was a moment in the summer where we could have a few jams, but then things got worse. So we were being safe, mask jams and whatnot.
Mhm.
when was the last time you played in front of an audience?
So our last show, I believe, was at Bar Le Ritz in Montreal 2 Januaries ago.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So 2019?
2019, yeah.
It's a long time, right?
It's a long time.
Yeah, and that's what we thrive on. That's what we think we do best, and that's what we like doing best. And so that's the biggest blow, I would say, not doing live shows.
So in a sense, we've been lucky because we had this material already recorded. So we were able to scrape together some videos and do as best we could with what we already had in the bank. So I feel like that's a little bit lucky for us compared to other bands who maybe were about to record or had just released something but couldn't promote it with a live show and stuff like that.
You say you've been working on some other videos that are going to come out at some point. When can we expect to see those?
So we're going to be premiering our next music video for the Song Despair 2 at our live virtual show on May 6th. We're going to be playing at Petit Campus, so an actual venue. And so that's going to be premiering, I think, off the top right at the beginning. And then it'll go into the show. And this one's a really cool one. It's definitely way different from any video we've ever made. We had a lot of help from our friends. So that's May 6th.
Tell us about the band that you've got playing with you for the live stream.
So, I mean, there's the core members, which would be Josh and myself and our lead guitarist, Kento. And then we have Mackenzie Myatt on violin and backup vocals and keys, Frank Marino on the drums, and then our other good friend, Ram, who is the bartender at Grumpy's. So people around town probably know of him through there, but he's also a great multi-instrumentalist. So he joined us for that performance. So it's actually the first time we ever had a 6-person formation. Unfortunately, to no crowd, but we had a good time, and you were there, Steve. So we hope you enjoyed that.
I definitely enjoyed it. I was happy to be the kind of token crowd member, or
There we go.
one of a few. I guess.
We it's not exactly live, but we pre-recorded it, and it's a set nonstop as if we would play a show to you, And it was great fun. So May 6th.
It was a real treat for me to be in a room with live music, and I'm excited for other people to be able to see it.
Thank you so much.
In the live stream, because it was kind of surreal, and I think we said it at the time. Just walking up the steps into a venue, like you take these things for granted in normal times completely. Where are your favorite places in Montreal to play?
I really like the old Casa del Popolo. I like that, and we like the guys at Turbo House. We've always played at their place.
Mm-hmm.
We still like the small places. Those are the places where we tested out things and new songs, and it's always cool seeing a small venue packed to the gills. So those will always hold a place in my heart.
And out of all your, you have a lot of songs to choose from. When you finally get back into one of those venues, what's the first song that you want to play?
Good question. Is it one of our own, Paul, or you're going to play a cover?
I would think probably one of our own. I don't know. We usually sort of make the set list the day of with whatever we're feeling at that time. So really could be any one of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones to choose. Maybe it's something that hasn't been recorded. We've been, when we get to jam, we've been jamming brand new ones. So nothing on the LP, nothing on the EP. There's about 20 or so more of those. So who knows? Maybe it won't even be these things from the EP or album.
Okay. Well, I look forward to that moment. I hope that I can be there. So
you will.
Obviously we don't really know what's going to be happening next at this point, but there's positive signs. There's a few shows that have been announced in Montreal, from small shows all the way up to, I just saw Genesis announce they're going to be playing at the Bell Center.
Wow.
And that's later into 2021. So fingers crossed it will actually happen. So at this point, with all the uncertainty, what are you able to plan anything, or, what's going to be next for the band as far as you know?
I mean, we were hoping that maybe a few people would be able to come to the May 6th show, and even that got thwarted. So, I mean, as soon as possible, obviously. I think the people who listen to us want to see us, and we want to be there. So hopefully it can happen as soon as possible. I don't know if I don't know what the reality will be when people start getting booked, if it's going to be a shit show. I don't know, so
maybe we'll be opening for Genesis at the Bell Center.
Yeah,
we can send them this video, and yeah, if it happens, then I'll just take 10% of the cost.
They dig it.
That's fair enough. Fair enough.
And what about the next LP? It sounds like it's pretty much ready to go. Have you worked on artwork and things like that? Do you have a plan?
Yeah. The entire package is ready. We're actually having vinyls printed right now.
Oh wow!
And so this is a dream for us. We've always wanted to be able to hold our own vinyl, so that's going to be good when they come.
Amazing.
Yeah. So we're just waiting to figure out what to do, when to put it out, and if anybody's going to help us. And yeah, so I mean, a lot of people have helped us on the way making this album. We worked with Mark Vrikin, who was the longtime producer of the Tragically Hip. And he also produced Prince and Leonard Cohen and King Crimson and all, like, some impressive acts. So we were lucky to work with them.
You are in good company there, I think.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's quite an honor for you guys to be involved with somebody like that, and for them to kind of sprinkle some magic on what you already do. Yeah. So I'm excited to hear that, if when we finally get treated to that. So congrats on the new music, and congrats on your release today. And thanks a lot for talking to Montreal Rocks. And hopefully we will get to see you in a live venue with a crowd very, very soon.
That would be lovely.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Have a great day.
All right.
Take care.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.